Hello, my name is Benjamin Carlson, and today I'll be showing you how to use Indecision.xyz to easily decide where you and your friends or coworkers should go to lunch. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to Indecision.xyz. And here we are. This is the login page, but since I'm going to be showing you how to use this from the viewpoint of a brand new user, we're going to start by signing up for an account. So down here it says don't have an account, sign up. So we're going ahead and click, and it brings us to the sign up page. So the first field it asks me for is a username. So I'm just going to go ahead and call myself Indecision Ben, and my email address will be indecision.ben@gmail.com, and I'm going to go ahead and make up a password and submit. And now I'm in. Hi, Indecision Ben, ready for lunch. So I have created my user account, and now I'm ready to well, first thing I'm going to do is go to my profile down here on the drop down menu and edit my profile. So on the profile page you can see it displays my username, my email, and I can change my password here. We'll just take a quick look at that. Enter in my old password, my new password, and password confirmation with some rules here about that. I'm happy with my password for now, so I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to the profile. As you can see here, Indecision.xyz takes in consideration for certain food preferences. By default, it's I haven't told it that I'm a vegetarian or a vegan, but if I go here to edit those preferences, it says please set your dietary preferences. I can set vegetarian or vegan to yes or no, and this will affect how how the app searches for places for me to eat. But since I'm not a vegetarian or a vegan, I'm going to go ahead and make sure those are set to no, and make sure my profile reflects that. Very good. Okay, so if I'm going to go out to lunch, I'm going to want to invite people to go with me, or out to any meal. So I'm going to go ahead and create some contacts. So I know that one of my friends, Roger, is a good friend of mine. Sometimes we go out to lunch together, and I'd like to be able to invite him to a lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and enter Roger's information in here. So I just enter his name and then his email address, which I have right here. Okay, and submit. So now I've added Roger to my contact book here, and so there's his email, shows up right there, and I can use that later. So we're going to go ahead back to the profile page, and now we're going to use groups. Groups are similar to contacts, but they're just groups of contacts. So the first thing, notice I have no groups already created, so I'm going to go ahead and create a group. And I mean, the purpose of a group is so that you can invite large amounts of people, or larger amounts of people, and larger than one at a time, so that and if they're a regular group, that way you can, if you usually go to lunch with your coworkers on Wednesdays, you can create a Wednesday lunch group and always invite the same people. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna create a group called Indecision Team. So this will be consist of my teammates in my senior design project, just in case we want to go out for a meal. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit submit, and now you can see I have the group created. I'm gonna go ahead and create another team just so you can see what it looks like. So I'll just call it sample team or sample group, and submit that. And there we have it. We have multiple groups. You can create as many groups as you like. But now it's time to actually include some people in this first group, Indecision Team. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit Groups, and this drop down lets me select which group I want to edit. I want to edit this Indecision Team, so I'm going to click Submit. So here's my lunch group, Indecision Team. So far I have no group members, so it's asking me to add a contact to the group. So I'm going to go ahead and add my friend Mel. He's one of my group members, so we'll add him at indecision.mel@gmail.com, and I'll add my other group member, Jacob, too. And submit. And there they are. So I have my a group with some contacts in it, and later we can use that to easily invite them to a lunch with us, so or a meal. So we'll go back, and I think it's time to, well, I guess we'll check out the About page as well. It tells you a little bit about who we are and what problem we went out to solve, which is helping everyone agree on a place to go to lunch. Okay, so now that I have my contacts entered and my profile is edited, it's time to go to lunch. So I'm going to create a new lunch right here. So the first thing we need for a lunch is to input filter specifications so that the app knows kind of what we're looking for and can find restaurants that will suit our needs. So the first thing I need to do is name my lunch. Since today's Friday, I'm just going to call this lunch Friday. And the next thing it's going to ask me is the distance in miles. So I'm in Columbia. There's plenty of options in my vicinity. So I'm just going to say 5 miles. Don't need to go too far. And I'm also going to enter in the zip code for Columbia, 29201. And for the categories, so these categories help you find food that fits into certain categories that you're interested in. They're not required. You can just search for general food, but since I know what I'm looking for, I want to find a burger place, and for other options, I'll look at tacos. Okay. And since we're going to lunch, I'm going to want to go at 1:15 p.m. Yep, that looks good to me, so we'll go ahead and submit that. Now we have to fill out our invite list. So there's this, these are the people who will receive an email invite from me, or for the app, I guess, created by me, and it'll be what they see so that they can come get lunch with me. So first thing I'm going to do is add that group that we created from earlier, Indecision Team. This drop down gives me an opportunity to select from any of my groups, but the one I really want is Indecision Team. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit with that. And as you can see, it pulled in it added the email addresses from that group to my email invite list. Other ways we can add contacts is straight from our contacts book. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and add Roger from my contact book. So just added him individually. And we can also, if I'm sitting next to somebody in the office and they want to join in on the lunch, but I haven't added them to my contacts yet, not a problem. I can click add by email. And let's just say that my friend Fred wants to go out to lunch. And he tells me his email address is fred222@gmail.com. And I'll hit submit. And there we are. We got Fred invited to lunch too. Since I just made Fred up, he's not actually going to be someone that I'm going to invite to this lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and remove him. So I'm going to use the remove contact button here. And it shows me everyone who I've invited to this lunch so far. Since Fred isn't actually real, I'm going to click on him and hit submit. And now he's been removed from the email invite list. Another functionality on this page is removing groups. This just gives you the opportunity to remove any groups that you may have invited from the lunch. But since I want to invite the people from that group, I'm going to go ahead and leave them there for now. This down here is a copy link where if you click on it, it copies it to your clipboard. So if you wanted to manually send a invite to someone, whether that would be on some sort of messenger or something else, you have the option to do that here. So I've got my email list filled out, and I like the people I've emailed or that I'm going to send an email invite to. So I'm going to go ahead and see what restaurants the app has found for me. So I'm going to click Yelp Results. Okay, so on this page, it has brought us back a list of results based on the filters we gave it. So these are all restaurants that are 5 miles within a 5-mile radius of Columbia, and they're looking for places that have burgers and places that have tacos. So I get to choose exactly 5 choices out of this list, and those 5 choices will be voted on by the people going to this lunch, so that we can find the best one that makes us all happy. So for burgers, I definitely like Five Guys, and Taco Sushi definitely has great tacos. I'm going to say, so I just need to pick 5 here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pick 5. So there's 1, 2. I like grill marks, so I'll say 3, and yes, you'll get here. And down here, we have the option to enter a restaurant of our choice. Yelp is the API that we're using, so sometimes they don't return all of the results for every single restaurant. Like fast food restaurants, a lot of times get left off. Just as like a example, I'm going to add Wendy's on here, just in case someone feels like going to Wendy's instead of one of these nicer places. So I'm going to go ahead and hit submit. And the 5 restaurants I selected are showing up on this page. So these buttons here allow me to get a little bit more information about the places that I've chosen. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Five Guys, and that redirects us to the Five Guys Yelp page, so we can get a little bit more information, see exactly what we've chosen here, make sure that it's all we can check to make sure that it's open, and see getting any more in-depth information that we might like. You can do that for any of these. Unfortunately, user-entered restaurants do not work that way, but I mean, that can be almost anything. It gives you more options with the user-created. So I like these 5 restaurants, so let's go ahead and send out our email invites. So it tells me here that my contacts have been invited to Friday, the name of my lunch, at 1:15 p.m., which is the time that I told it. And now it's time to cast my vote. So I'm going to click on next, vote for lunch. So this is the voting ballot. Gives me the opportunity to check out any of these restaurants again, just in case. You can click and it'll redirect you to the Yelp page for it, just like on the other page. And down here, I can use these drop downs to vote for the choices I would like, or vote for which choices I would like to go to. So since Five Guys is my favorite restaurant on this list, I'm going to put it as my first choice. But if I can't go to Five Guys, I guess I would definitely want to go to Taco Sushi. That's my second choice. And my third choice, I'm going to go with Grill Marks. So if I can't have Five Guys, I like Taco Sushi. If I can't have Taco Sushi, Grill Marks will do. So I'm going to go ahead and submit my ballot. I submit my vote. And looks like my vote went in successfully. And right now, the vote is in progress, meaning the people that I've invited, we're giving them some time to complete their voting, to go ahead to open their email and vote for which place they would like to go to lunch. So we're going to give them some time to fill that out, and then we'll come back to this. So now that I've given my lunch invitees plenty of time to cast their votes if they're still interested in coming, I'm going to go ahead and close the vote here. I'm going to click the complete voting button. And now I get my results. So based on the votes that are sent in by me and the people invited to lunch, looks like Five Guys was the most popular choice. And it says we'll be there at 1:15 p.m. just like I entered earlier. So there we have it. Lunch at Five Guys. And an email has been sent out to everyone that I invited, letting them know the results of our vote. And hopefully we'll have a great lunch. One of the main features of Indecision.xyz is the ability to reuse past lunches. So let me show you. We have already gone on a few lunches using this account, and we can see those lunches when we click on Reuse Past Lunch. So it asks us to select a previous lunch by its name, and we can click this drop-down menu, and it'll show us ones we've gone on in the past. Monday Gang, Friends in Greenville, and we're just going to go ahead and pull up the one from the example earlier, Friday. So we're going to hit submit. Now this page shows us to basically just to confirm, make sure that the settings that we had on our last lunch are the ones that we want to use on this when we're reusing the lunch. So there's the name Friday. They're looking for burgers and tacos 5 miles from Columbia at 1:15 p.m. If I wanted to do that again, I would say next, and it lets us add or remove people from the invite list and proceed with the lunch, just like we did when we created a brand new lunch. Now I'm going to show you what it's like to be invited to a meal using the Indecision app. For the purposes of this demo, I will be portraying the role of a user named Jacob, logged in to Indecision as Indecision Jacob. So the first thing you'll see is I've received an email inviting me to lunch. So I'm going to go ahead and read that. It says, Indecision Ben has invited you to Japanese meal, that's the name of the meal, at 2:10 p.m. Please vote on where you'd like to go following this link. So they give me the link to vote, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And it has redirected me here to indecision.xyz, and I can see my choices for dinner, or for whatever meal this is. I actually believe it said 2:15, so that's actually going to be lunch. And I'm going to vote for M Grill to be my number 1. We'll go with Taco Sushi number 2, and Sakitumi Grill and Sushi Bar for my third choice. So those are my choices. Hoping to go to M Grill the most, but any of these will do really. And submit. So please be patient. You'll receive a result email when the host closes the vote. So I'm going to go ahead and close this down and wait for another email to let me know where we're going to lunch. Okay, so now that the host has closed the vote, I've received an email telling me the results of our voting. So it looks like today we'll be going to M Grill at 2:10 p.m. So there we have it, the result of our lunch.